Hello, humans. Episode number 37, coming to you live from Mikasa, beamed straight to your pretty little ear holes. We are blessed to have on some metal juggernauts, the almighty Polyhedra, a metal band from Albuquerque who loaned us a couple of their robots that produce sounds in the band. Mr. Alex, legendary vocalist, and the heroic Mr. James, guitarist for Polyhedra. That's Polyhedra. We talk all things metal, what it takes to create an EP, that's extended play for any of you cats not hip to those kinds of acronyms. We talk band life, and these handsome fellas threw in a brand new track off their just released album in the actual podcast, so look out for that. Thank you guys for stopping by and talking all things horns, mosh pits, and make sure you guys link up on their Facebook page for their April 15th show at the Launchpad. Get you some tickets, hell, get your friends some tickets, and that which you can find at facebook.com/Polyhedra Band Official, and keep an eye out for their merch coming soon too. Metal is still alive and kicking in Albuquerque, and these guys prove it. These guys are pursuing greatness and pursuing their dream, and if you're out there doing that musical situation, don't give up and do that shit harder. A Perch of Birds is brought to you by me, my fans. I'm looking at you, Mr. Ian Oliver. Still mad love, brother. And grit and spit. That's what it takes to make these episodes. Find everything A Perch of Birds is doing on our Facebook at facebook.com/APOB Media, Instagram at A Perch of Birds Media. I know how to say it. It just takes me a couple times. And I'm trying to be more active on Twitter, and that's at APOB Media. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, help support the podcast and get yourself a sticker for a fresh, crisp $1 at patreon.com/APOB Media. Thank you guys for listening. If you like this episode, please drop me a review on iTunes. You have no idea how much that helps me and the show. Cheers, you beautiful people. Keep it up out there. Hey guys, welcome to A Perch of Birds podcast. I got James and Alex from Polyhedra. Did I say it right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And these guys are an insane metal band that is bringing it to a whole nother level, and we don't get too many of those coming out of Albuquerque. So I definitely wanted to bring you guys on because I feel like you're pursuing greatness in a way that you could count on one hand how many times you've seen metal bands come out of Albuquerque that are actually worth their shit when it comes to, maybe they'll have a live show that's badass, but then they go to record and they can't put it together. And then sometimes they just can't stay together, or they just don't care enough to get out of their mom's garage and actually put down the effort to like put together an album, to put together shows. Mm-hmm. So I thought that when I listened to you guys, I was so inspired. I thought, man, we got to fucking have you guys on. So welcome, and I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I mean, we're really super appreciative to actually be here and get this going with you. This is actually our first podcast, so
yeah, super excited to be here.
Cool.
So
no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, what we try to do here is basically just like tell the fucking story from your guys' perspective. So like, any band, of course, you guys just get together and you play music. But talk to me. How did you guys get started? Who was the one that was like, yo, need to start a band? Or
so there was kind of a precursor band that me, the other guitarist, and our old drummer were in, and when that kind of dissolved, we were looking for a vocalist, and we found Alex. So we kind of have been together ever since. Now we have a new drummer and a bass player. We didn't have a bass player for the longest time, so now we're like a fully functioning 5-piece for the first time in 3 years, I think, right? 3 years?
4 years now.
4 years now, yeah, wow.
Bring that thing a little bit more.
A little closer.
Yeah.
That cool.
Just yell at it.
Yell at it.
That's a little better. So that's cool. So you guys are a 5-piece, and then what genre of metal do you guys? I didn't want to try to, like, what do you put yourselves in if you guys were to try to say?
That's really difficult, and it's something that we all talked about, and we're trying not to just stick to one genre. I mean, this release is pretty deathcore or death metal-y, whatever anybody really wants to call it. But, eventually we want to move into everything. We want to get into clean singing. We want to get into, keeping our heavy roots. But we really want to just explore, everything that music has to offer. As musicians, like that's the best thing is like we can branch ourselves anywhere and do anything. So why not?
Yeah. So when you guys got together, there was no like mode. You guys weren't like, we want to sound like a specific band, like Thy Art Is Murder, like anybody in particular, what would you guys say is like an influencer, like personally for you guys, that brought you guys to the table of metal in the first place?
Man, so we're really all over the place.
Okay. That's good though.
Yeah. So like he said, like I've always aspired to just write music in general, although metal is my main channel. Our other guitarist is generally similar. But then we get, Alex, who's in a lot more of the heavier, aggressive stuff, whereas I'm into the more mellow stuff, typically more clean singing and stuff like that.
So like volumes,
volumes, periphery, tesseract, all that stuff.
Sure.
Although Alex likes it too, and I like a lot of stuff he listens to.
Yeah.
He just brings that edginess that I don't have. I guess I can say, I bring some more, I don't know, not non-edginess, clean singing type stuff, I guess. And then our bass player is different, our drummer is different. Everybody just has their own flavor, so we all try to bring that together in the best way we can.
Yeah, that's badass, dude. Well, and I think that's what it takes to make a good band, especially if you guys want to be different. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, and I'm not talking shit about Albuquerque, but I kind of am. Like a lot of the bands, they just they'll park in a sound, bro, and it's just there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then it's like, no wonder you guys aren't moving. You know what I mean? Or you're not getting picked up because it's too easy to just go down a path and put blinders on. You know what I mean? Like try to sound specifically like so I used to be in a band years ago, and we would try to sound specifically like the way that they did with the previous singer for a long time. And then we finally got to the point where I was writing the lyrics and the songs. I was changing how the vocals sounded. And, back then, one of my biggest influencers was like Lamb of God. You know what I mean? So the sound that I came up with, I thought it was just too niche. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what was happening. And they're no longer, they're still, big band, but they're no longer like the Kings, if you will, or selling records, I guess. You know what I mean? The way that they were. And what's interesting is since then, I've noticed that there's just a huge leap, and the bands that are successful are the ones that are mixing it up. Like you said, they're going from the clean singing into the heavier stuff. Even with the lyrics, like some of the songs, they sound like deathcore, but they're talking about some positive ass, can almost be a Christian song.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it's like, how do you do that? So my bad. What was your influencers? Alex, talk to me.
Again, as he's saying, I'm on the edgier side of things, so it can be anywhere from like Slamentation and crazy heavier slam bands to like Signs of the Swarm and Lorna Shore, Whitechapel, Oceano. I really love that golden era of 08 as they'll say.
Right.
So that's definitely my niche, but I'm trying to explore more into other things of what James has shown me, like Tesseract, Periphery, and other things to, not just stay with what I'm comfortable with, but branch out, find new things, consistently trying to find new music, new bands. So that's basically been my influences, not just the old stuff, but what's up and coming nowadays as well.
Well, and I think when you come to looking at music nowadays, the fact that it's so easy to get to it, like you said, like going into Spotify and getting into Google Music, fucking YouTube, you know what I mean? Like you can just find any music now. And I remember back in the day, sometimes you had, like, I remember using MySpace for the majority of my music finds. Like Winds of Plague was like gods on MySpace. And I try to tell people about it and like, where the fuck do you find this music? I'm like, dog, MySpace, because you couldn't even find it on YouTube. You know what I mean? And it's like, who uses MySpace? Well, the only thing I would use it for was music, But so that's cool. So you keep it in that realm. And then when you guys started to write music, who's the one that's writing the lyrics and stuff like that? Is that all you?
That was me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then musically wise, everybody's just jumping in and putting in their pieces and making the music.
Generally, yeah. We're doing that a lot more now, definitely. But for the first release, Alex.
Keep rolling. You're good.
Alex, me, and our other guitarist had everything done pretty much. So,
all I want to say is, fuck that mic stand.
It's all good. It's all good. We're making it work.
We're having technical issues over here. My bad. Continue, man.
Yeah, but so the three of us had the 5 songs we have done now. Then we had drummer come and do his thing. Bass player came and do his thing. They didn't really, they added their part to it, definitely, for sure. But the structure was pretty there. So like now we're at the point where we're starting to write new stuff, and it's, everyone's having their say and saying this and that, and we should all do this or not, maybe not. Yeah, we're having that conversation now finally.
That's badass. So the songs that you guys created, those are what's on the new album that just came out Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the title of the album?
It's just a self-titled EP, so it's just just the Polyhedra EP. we really just we wanted to take this as our creative output to kind of just get our songs out there for now. And then now we're working on more concept albums and other things that are up and coming, and in our future. So trying to move forward with our music. This was more of just like a coming together, finding a sound, working together to, put out something that we were.
That's usually some of the best shit is those first EPs. That's usually the ones that people go back to and they're like, bro, Polyhedra's first shit. No, not to say that, not trying to dog down the stuff you guys are going to put out in the future, but that's always the harder stuff.
Yeah, no,
I mean?
I feel that personally. Yeah. I agree.
You go back and you're like, man, how the fuck, where did that come from? Compared to the stuff that's usually mainline. Mm-hmm. So when you guys came up with the name, was that already set in stone? Polyhedra? What is it? POL, just for people listening, it's POLYHEDRA?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's Polyhedra? What is that?
Well, it's a mathematical concept. A polyhedra is a 3-dimensional shape with regular faces.
Okay.
Right? So from there, we were just spitballing names, and that's what we decided we liked. And the big concept we're trying to imply with it is that, a polyhedra has multiple faces. You know what I'm saying? So we can sound like a death metal band, but we can turn around and, play some reggae bars if you want or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We can be black metal.
That's kind of between the buried and me sounding right there.
Yeah. So we don't have to stick to one face. We could do whatever we want.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome, dude. I like the fact that you guys are so progressive in that, because I mean it's so easy to get niche down. I've said it like 3 fucking times, but you know what I mean? Like it's cool to see bands like that. I feel like you guys are going to be more successful than you know what I mean? Just purely on that. Like I had the Anchor on from Denver. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them.
Sounds familiar.
It's a female fronted band. She did that series Scream It Like a Girl
with Lindsay Ray.
Yeah. So I went and met those guys, and the thing I noticed about their same kind of pattern is that there is no pattern. Like they really just try to change it up, and if they feel something, they'll work on a project album, 5 songs deep, they'll put that shit out, and maybe it's just whole different mode than it was previously. And unless you're a metalhead, like you can't really appreciate that. But I think that we look for that shit in a band nowadays. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's hard to find bands that are looking at different facets, like a Polyhedra, now that you fucking say that. So would you guys consider yourselves to have some mathcore in there? Like do you guys try to get more complicated just for the sake of like showing off the ability to play faster or anything like that? I mean, you said, I don't know, poly, think of mathcore. No?
That, I mean, I can't say that doesn't have its appeal, but we, at least personally, I try not to do that.
Sure.
There's a certain amount of accessibility I always want to have with my music.
Sure.
And as much as I do love the mathematical, technical stuff, and we do it.
Yeah.
But it's more palatable. I like to try to think. I hope anyway, right? So, we're not balls to the wall with it, but
right.
It has its influence for sure.
Well, and it doesn't knock on your skills, but that's cool that you think of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you're able to know that other people may want to listen to this.
Yeah,
that wouldn't typically listen to metal like that.
Yeah, exactly. And with how easy everything is today, it's like I can, if I really want to show off my skill, I can take my stuff and go do that for myself.
Right.
Our band is not necessarily the place to be doing that.
I like how you put that. Okay, That's awesome. So do you guys, when you guys write the albums, do you guys call each other out if somebody's not pushing themselves?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Man, we don't talk, we don't converse, we argue.
Okay.
More than anything, but it's a constructive arguing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's good. It's for the better. For sure.
That's cool. So how long have you guys been as a band, like as Polyhedra?
I would say the 3 of us, me, Mark, and James. Mark is our other guitarist. We've been together for about 4 years now. And then Casey, who is our drummer, and Big Breakfast, as we call him, who's our bass player, they've been with us for about a year now. So, they've really helped us finalize our sound and kind of get to where we need to be with, that low end. And then, of course, a steady technical drummer as well. So,
well, that shows that you guys stick together, because a lot of bands, it's like boyfriend girlfriend kind of thing.
Oh man, I call these guys my girlfriends all the time. I have 4 of them. They're terrible.
Being that I'm the dad of the band, I call them my kids.
Yep.
That's awesome. So Alex, you're the only one that has kids?
Yep.
Okay, in the band. Mm-hmm. And how does that play into like scheduling and shit like that? Do you ever have conflicts, or is it like how often do you guys play a week?
We more of focus trying to play in our own time, because if you can't play it on your own, then how are you supposed to play as a group? So that's one thing. And then when we have a show coming up, that's when we start planning practices together to make sure we all come together tight and that we're all on time and playing in sync with each other. So, when we got a show coming up, we'll do once a week, maybe twice a week. But our goal is to have twice a week, where once a week we meet up and just talk as a band, and then the other time we can actually practice and play our music. So
that's badass.
Try to have that real good. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Maybe cohesion.
Sure. That's what I was thinking.
But I love that you guys do that, because there's a few bands, Chimera. They would do that. Like a lot of times some of their entire albums were done individually, and they would, even if it's not the final recording, they would do a lot of their shit in their hotel rooms, you know what I mean, or at their houses in different states, and then they would put that, patch it back together and be like, yeah, that's how we want it, and then go cut the final song in the studio, I guess. So when you guys made this album, this EP that came out, did you guys you guys had the songs all vetted. Did you guys go in and just tackle it like in a week, lock yourselves in Nosferatu's lair and just fucking get after it? Or was it like, how did you guys do it?
Yeah. Basically, 2 weeks. I think it took, right? 2 weeks.
Damn, for the whole, for 5 songs?
5 songs,
5 songs? Okay.
Yeah. Kind of hold up. Alex and I lived together, so everything happened at our house. Our drummer sent us things from his place. He has his own studio and whatnot. So he did that. All guitars were tracked there, vocals in our spare room, so
that's badass, dude. So that kept the cost low.
Oh yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah. So we were able to record everything and then send it off to Hollowed Studios out in Florida for mixing and mastering.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's badass. But I remember I was asking you guys through the messenger, so you guys basically cut everything where you wanted it, and then they just mixed and mastered, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That takes skill, bro, because like some people can't fucking operate. Like I can barely operate this damn laptop for you guys to get this podcast. Even though I'm an IT guy, like when it comes to audio, it's just such a specific animal.
It's kind of like recording is its own art in a way. And like recording sounds like this, mics are great. Like we did everything digitally. He was the only mic. Guitars plug into a computer nowadays. So it's so easy. And then the second half, the production, is something that we're working towards as well. So in the future, we're not wanting to have to, go out to somebody else and source everything like that.
Right.
It'll all be in-house.
That's tough, man. I've watched, my buddy Spider, I had him on my podcast. He was my guy, my engineer up to like episode 20. And dude would tell me like, I didn't know this till a ways in, and I felt kind of bad, but like when we got rolling, he would take an hour of audio and it'd take him like 6 hours, because he would piece that shit apart, and then I would do stuff in remotely. Usually, like I would go to a coffee shop, and dudes would be running the espresso machine in the background, and people would literally come up and try to ask us what we're doing, like while we're running the podcast, and it's fucking irritating. But you want to be nice, like yeah, okay, go download it, bye, and but that shit would get in there, and dude would have to cut and splice and blah blah blah. But he would be so particular because he was trying to do it at that level of actually having it like studio quality from me recording it like shit, essentially, that it really made me grasp, like, if that's me just talking into a microphone, I couldn't imagine you guys going through that shit. Like, the dog barks or fucking door gets slammed or something. Did you guys set up like a closet, or was it like a bedroom, or what was it?
In our room, I had an old futon mattress frame or whatever, so we just like blanketed that up and shoved him in there.
Nice. That's badass. Do you play any instruments as well, or are you just vocals?
I'm just vocals for this band. I mean, I do play other instruments, but for this, I've really like just left that to everybody else. I helped write one song, Devourer, brought that to the group, and they really just took it to another level. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Right. Cool. That's what you guys do. This is what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what, when I was in a metal band, that's what I did. I would just scream and write lyrics. But then I thought I was Mr. Talk Shit whenever they would like write a song, like, no, faster, no, slower, speed it up, more of, give me more drama, I need some more twang, They shut the fuck up. They tell, because like I'm not actually the one playing the instrument. That takes me to the Pantera home videos where they would show Phil Anselmo, bro, and like they would show Dimebag, like he could play like every instrument, but then they show Phil and he's like trying to play the drums, he couldn't fucking do it, bro. Like he just it's like, you're good at what you do, dog, just stay with that. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, one thing though with Polyhedra, we do have like a realm of accountability with everybody. So, you know, whenever it does come to somebody else's, like say they're playing strings and they write a guitar part and it's like, well, why don't we try this? You know, we try to have that realm with everybody where we can approach them and say, well, hey, try this on vocals or try this on drums or try this on bass. You know, everybody is accountable for the music because we're all playing it. It's not just one member, you know. It's
well,
not
and then
just,
your guys' names are tied to it too. You know what I mean? You don't want it to sound like shit. Or even, I'm sure with your vocals, have you guys ever have to call them out? Be like, you can do better, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, we all do it to each other.
Yeah, I've had my Marge Simpson moments screaming into a mic. And Jim's like, nope, drink some water, get back in there, doing it again, you know. So it happens. But, you know, we need to have that accountability because I might notice something that he does. Or, you know,
definitely.
Or vice versa.
Sure.
So, we always try to hold each other accountable to be able to put out the best songs or music that we can.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. That's cool. I like that you guys it sounds like you guys are on the same page. It doesn't sound like the egos fly. I'm sure they do, but, you know.
Well, yeah, we really try to put a team together more or less based on the idea of, you know, growth and, you know, progressing. We're not trying to hold each other back. We're trying to help each other do better and for, you know, the goal of being a band. So it's a lot of, you know, arguing and all that good stuff all the time, but like understanding, you know, we're trying to help everyone do better and go farther and, you know, just do the best we can, you know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's legit, man. So what so let's talk about like lyrics, man. So like when you write, what are these songs? I haven't heard the other 4. I think I just heard the one that you guys released because that was the one that you guys released beforehand. So tell me about titles, like lyrics, like where do you go, man? What's the theme that you're bringing? Because you're representative. You know, I'm listening to you speak and the words, and I feel like that's the angle that the band goes. You know what I mean? So what do you try to impress upon people with your lyrics?
So whenever I came into Polyhedra, there were already some titles out there, and those were something that I kind of worked off of, like the song you heard, Infernus Machina. That was something I walked into and I was like, okay, the infernal machine. So I'm going to write it, you know, an apocalyptic scene about a machine that's just ending the world.
Right.
All American Snuff was something that our previous drummer, he had named that song actually, which was based off of a snuff film, like a B-roll movie, super cheesy and everything.
Can't go wrong.
So
it's amazing.
I watched it and based it off of that movie. But, you know, whereas Subconscious Dreamscape, I really had my own creativity there. So that was more about like mental health issues, you know, drowning in depression or, you know, multiple personality disorder, just whatever it may be, you know, it kind of all followed suit into that. And then Sentience was one of those ones where we all actually, that was something we came together and wrote, you know, as a full band. That was the first song that I walked into where we actually all got to write together.
Those are the best, bro. I feel like that brings it back to life because it's like you're not knocking the dust off old shit. It's like all fresh.
Yeah. We had an idea for that one and then it happened in like an afternoon. It just like unwrapped itself.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So and that one, it had a super spacey sound, and I told him, I was like, all right, guys, I'm basing this one off Halo. Like, just had to do it. So
got some games in there. So when you guys are recording, what's the downtime like? There's just like video games.
You know, for me, I love video games and my Netflix binging. But as well, I like to get out there. I like going out shooting, you know, and try to get around and see my friends as much as I can, you know, being social, because it's where I seek my inspiration. You know, when you're happy, it's a lot easier to put something on or pen to a paper. You know? Right. So that's definitely a huge inspiration for me. And then I always catch James gaming. He loves the old school stuff.
Oh, yeah. I love games.
You guys played any Red Dead yet?
No, I have not actually.
Check it out.
No, too new for me, man.
Yeah? Too new for me.
Too new for me. Yeah, I need some pixels, some like
there you go.
Polygonal graphics.
Nice. It kind of works. I got the poly in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. So the lyrics are kind of something that it just depends on like what hits you, and then I'm sure that you're basing it off of something that you actually believe in. That's what it sounds like. Like you're not just bullshitting. Like sometimes I think death metal is just kind of bullshit because sometimes you'll hear the lyrics and you're like, are you just kind of playing that game, bro? Just because, you know what I mean? Just because you're trying to keep the theme
just
up.
Trying to be edgy or whatever the heck. Yeah,
you know, it's like, I like to hear stuff that's unique because then I want to hear each song because each song comes from like a place of the heart. And it's like, you know, it's not like gay, like a pop song, you know, but more like, you know, you're hearing something that actually, that's like what the Anchor, like they're a lot of their music is super positive, but she is mean sounding as hell. You know what I mean? And like you listen to it and you can't help but like want to mosh and feel inspired all at once. And like usually you're just pissed off in a mosh pit and you're just fleshing out the hate. You know what I mean? But something like that, you know, it's interesting, and to see more of you guys, you know, taking that concept and kind of applying it to your songs, that's huge, man. I think that's good for, you know, younger generations that are going to be coming up, because there's, you know, I think some people, again, I don't know how to speak to this and not sound like a douche, but like with metal music, if you're a metalhead, you know that a lot of times the music is not, the lyrics are, at least, are not legit. Like you're not actually talking about like killing and raping like Black Dahlia kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But it, you know, how hard is it to like introduce your friends to metal, or even like, you know, you put the lyrics in front of them and then press play on a song, and then they're listening to it like some Amir jam, you know, and it just, and he's talking about doing something horrible to a chick, and it's like, it's not really what he means, but that's, you know, so like I think it's cool. It's cool to see you guys doing that, because I think that is what the new generation is. You know what I mean? Of metal now, is that we're trying to actually, you know, become songwriters alongside, you know, like this really new fucking cutting edge sound, you know, because your guys' music sounds fucking amazing. And just for you guys listening, we are definitely going to put on which song?
You know,
whichever one you guys want.
We could probably do All American Snuff.
Yeah,
that's been a super popular one since we released it a couple days ago. We've noticed a huge trend in everybody loving All American Snuff. So so that's definitely one we can throw out there.
Well, fuck, do you guys want to put it on now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely fine by us.
All right, guys. So this is All American Snuff by Polyhedra. The new album just dropped on Friday, March 1st. And you guys can catch the album on Spotify, iTunes,
Google Play, as well Apple Music. It's up for stream, Amazon Music, you know, and then it's up for free download as well on Bandcamp. So
for free on Bandcamp. That's an important one.
Fuck yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Check it out. fucking badass. So this is the final product, and that All American Snuff is one of 5 songs that you guys can pick up. I got mine off Google Play Music. Yeah. And then there's also Bandcamp where you guys can pick it up, but you don't have to spend any more than $5. You guys can definitely give them more. You give them $100 because you love them so much and you want to see the machine keep moving forward. But yeah, so we got Bandcamp, we said iTunes, and that's a beautiful piece of music to own. So you guys better pick that shit up and tell them a Perch a Bird sent you. We talked to right there when we were listening to the song a little bit about you guys were working on another album already, of course, and you were talking about it might be like a concept album. Tell me about that.
So we're working on a concept right now, and that's something we're going to end up getting into. We kind of want to keep it a little bit under wraps. And
oh shit, did I just blow it open, bro?
Oh
yeah, you did totally. No, I'm just kidding. Well, it's good to kind of let people know we're still going ahead. Like this is not a. Oh, we did an EP break time. We're moving forward hard. So like we're doing stuff. We do want to keep our cards close, but working on an album, I guess you could say, a release.
Okay,
would be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're conceptualizing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was our main thing. We went from this EP where we all brought our creative minds into this and kind of mixed it all up. Now we want to move on to something and move forward with an actual concept and challenge ourselves to be able to write to said concept and actually be able to, bring that talent and that side forward as well. Like we've said, we're always trying to do something new and, constantly trying to move forward. So that's the next idea and something we're moving forward with. So, but the idea is there. Now it's just time to put our heads to the grindstone and start moving forward. Just
fuck yeah. So you guys, I heard you guys talking on the phone. I was stalking you a little bit just a minute ago. Well, you were talking about opening for somebody, maybe, right? Did I hear that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we got a couple of things coming up. One I can't quite say yet. We're waiting on the confirmation, but we do have a show with O Sleeper coming up at the Launchpad. The Agony Scene is actually going to be on it as well. So, that's going to be April 15th. We're going to go pick up tickets today.
Okay.
So if anybody needs tickets, feel free to hit me up on Facebook any other way or any of the other members. I'll be more than happy to deliver those on out.
So this will release 2 weeks from this Monday. So if you guys have anything that you can give me, is there anything in between now and then that I should put out beforehand, or is that
no?
That show is April 15th.
Okay.
So,
but then otherwise, are you guys playing any shows in between now and then?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we gave ourselves a little bit of time after this release because we all worked pretty hard on it to really just get it done. So we took a little bit of a break to kind of clear the head, get some time, and then now we're going to start rolling forward again.
Yeah, we've played one show that was kind of last minute ish.
Okay.
We didn't campaign too hard for that show, but we did it. It was fun. It was cool. Yeah, just kind of taking it easy right now.
Who have you guys played with locally?
Oh man,
so
Slaughter to Prevail.
Wait, do you mean local bands or?
Yeah.
Oh,
local bands.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to give a quick shout out to Desecrated Humanity.
Okay.
Those are our boys.
Yeah. Okay, so I started talking to them also. I think
Yeah.
I got in because I was probably looking at your guys' stuff. It
Yeah.
kind of popped up on Facebook. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they're pretty legit cats.
They're cool. Their drummer Luke is really, really, really good friend of ours. Really, really great drummer. He played with us for a while we were in between stuff. He was great. He's great. We love him. Everybody in that band is kind of young. I think maybe a few years ago they were all like 15, 16, but now they're like 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
They're young cats.
I think the oldest one is Jonathan because he just turned 21. I
Did he?
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably the oldest.
Bro, you could buy beer. Fuck yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, well, I'm 22, so I'm not too much younger than me.
Sure.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Okay.
But they're cool cats. Really cool. Cool dudes. They have a single out.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
have a single.
Yeah, I think I saw that on YouTube. I think I was listening to that. Yeah. But you guys were much more polished. I thought you guys have been around for a lot longer, honestly, when I heard your guys' sound, just because of how good it is. And as you guys heard, you guys listening out there at that song we just went through, like fucking amazing. So, not trying to fluff your asses too much, but legit, you guys sound good. Especially, like me, like there's just not too many local bands that are putting in real metal and putting that kind of stuff out. It's like hip hop is like the thing, anybody's trying to target at, not to step down on hip hop, but, anybody, that's gonna be, I'm gonna sound like an asshole saying that. I feel like, you know, you really got to have like a cooperative effort. You can't just be a good rapper nowadays, because anybody can put a microphone up in their house, you know what I mean? But you've got to have like a producer, somebody that can actually make you sound worth a fuck, you know what I mean? Anybody can acapella, you know. That's terrible to say. I didn't know that there was such a rap battle scene in Albuquerque. I guess that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, and shit like that. I think that's cool. I think that's something that should get more pushed onto like social media, because that will show you, you know, the nuts and bolts of how somebody becomes a rapper, I think, instead of like who, you know, you get a record deal and just because you can spit bars, here's this $1 million an hour producer, you know, and of course you're going to sound good. Of course you're going to make a hit. You know what I mean? But when it comes to metal, you can't fucking do that. And when you find somebody that's got these 5 pieces put together so perfectly, that's fucking amazing. Sorry, I kind of derailed the conversation. So local bands, Desecrated Humanity,
Aaralywn, Perplexity as well. Yeah. Aaralywn are some really good homies of mine. They're fantastic musicians. Aaralywn. So it's AARALYN.
Yeah. I'm glad it's not complicated. You want to know what the name of my metal band was? Fixius. So people be like, what? What do you call, you know? So we tried to spell it. It was PHYXSIUS. And it was fucking ridiculous because nobody could look it up. Nobody could Google it. You know what I mean? That's the name of Odysseus' ship in the Odyssey was called Fixius. So it's cool when you explain it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. But like, you know, I mean, there was just no way to like be able to, you know, like you sound all mean and they're like, hey, can you spell that? You know, and you're, fuck, you know. That's awesome. So then when you guys play these shows, you guys are looking to pick up other bands, or do you guys just play on your own? How does that work?
So whenever it comes to the shows, generally that's the promoter. They're picking up other bands as it goes. We just get put in the offer, or, you know, if I see something and I think it's good, I say, hey guys, I'm thinking about putting in something for this, or putting our name in the hat for this. Is that cool? Everybody want to play this? Yeah. They'll be like, yeah, sure. Or, you know, somebody else will bring it to the table. Hey, Alex, can you reach out to somebody, put our name in for this? I'm like, you know, as long as everybody thinks it's good and we all agree, then yeah, absolutely. Let's move forward on that, you know?
Yeah.
What's your favorite venue to play in Albuquerque?
You know, I would definitely say Launchpad. Launchpad, yeah. It's a lot of fun. Well, I mean, yeah, because I can get off the stage and then I can go get a good beer real quick. Right. Like, that's the best part of it.
Watch everybody else.
Unwind after working, essentially.
Right. Exactly. Especially after unloading. After unloading, there's nothing better than a beer or a nice shot of Jameson. Just be like, okay, now I'm cool. Now I can enjoy these other people.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, the Launchpad's amazing, bro. So's Sunshine, but I feel like Sunshine, like that's one of those ones where they have more people that go in there, right? Like in terms of volume, you'd have to like have like a whole.
It doesn't seem like they do as much locals. They never really did a lot. Sure. I don't think, but like
that makes sense.
Lately, even like there used to be the one or two you'd see, but now it's like I haven't seen a local band at Sunshine.
Well, do you guys remember Totalestai? I think they're still around. No, they were like a local group that they would play there as an opener quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's another band which my fucking buddies are gonna hate me for not remembering. That usually would play with them, that would open. They would play at Edgefest a lot, like as the local group, you know what I mean? I had Buck and Dex on, and so I was asking those guys about, you know, like different, you know, groups that would open for Edgefest and stuff like that. But I remember that they would open quite a bit, and I'm kind of like sad that went away, because I feel like that could be a good conduit for local Albuquerque musicians to get kind of bigger, because we don't have any awesome festivals anymore.
Yeah. Since like Mayhem and Vans are all gone.
Yeah, you know, and I think even Ozfest is done, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think they might be doing like that one big festival type thing.
Yeah.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, but they're not touring.
No, not touring. No. Okay. Yeah. Same with Vans.
Who knows he's old? He's too old. You know, he can't fucking play anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tangent a little bit here. This is something I thought of earlier when we were listening to American Snuff. So with your vocals, how did you learn how to scream?
Honestly, it was just self-taught. You know, one of those things that I was like, damn, I really want to do this. So, you know, I listened to a lot of different bands, and, you know, I looked up one tutorial that taught me, you know, it's like when you get home from a long day of work and you just take that deep breath, just that, and then you project that. And, you know, that was basically what I worked off of. And then from there, it has been listening to new bands or heavier bands or edgier bands, as you may say, to try to push that vocal limit to the extreme. So, you know, I've really tried to give my range something else. And then, it's one of those things that as a vocalist, everybody can learn it.
Absolutely.
But it's how you apply it.
Sure.
So I've tried to, give it my own flair and, apply it differently throughout our songs to try to put something different out.
Right. Do you like one better than the other, like the highs compared to the lows?
I like highs, but I absolutely love my gutturals. There's nothing better than just when you hit it perfect on a stage and you're just like, damn, okay, that felt good.
Right. Sounds like death. And then pig squealing. Have you figured that out yet?
I do pig squeal, but it's one of those things that I'm waiting for the time to be right to put it in.
Yeah. I always like the guys that get it down to where they can fucking talk through it. It's like, motherfucker, like they can just perfectly just pin that sound down. It's not just this long drawn out, they're like able to like say their ABCs pig squealing, like that shit. To me, that's like the top of the mountain for me, 'cause highs, I think you can figure that shit out. Lows, that takes work to get it right. Like you said, to get that real strong power behind it. But then to get the pig squeal, like I had a guy tell me, a vocalist that was telling me that it's essentially trying to keep a shit covered golf ball from falling down the back of your throat. And you're just trying to keep it pushed up. And for some reason that triggered it. And I kind of got it. You know what I mean? Like, of course I never had the success that you guys did. Like I just didn't play enough, but when we were playing, like I was kind of playing with it, and I was able to get the pig squeal in there. So you're self-taught, you came off of like a YouTube thing. Do you still lose your voice at all?
No.
Okay. So that means you're doing it correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I first started, I would just scream thinking that it came out from a place of anger, and I would always just as much as I could, pouring sweat, red face, and then I would fucking talk like this the next day, and I hated it because like, I'd see these other guys, we were talking about Bleeding Eardrum Studio when we were offline just a second ago, and Bleeding Eardrum was a studio that was in Albuquerque. I've talked about it on the podcast before, but I would hear these other guys that could just, the guy would just stand there and look like he's talking, but he's just fucking pinning out these sounds that are just incredible. And so I took a class from Melissa Cross. I don't know if you're savvy on her at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'd go through her, just her DVD, not her class, but I would fucking watch her DVD. And it was day and night. And I just couldn't believe the difference in the sound. You know what I mean? But it blows my mind to see you guys that you just figured it out. You know what I mean? And that's how Lindsay Ray was as well. She was able to just figure it out from just sitting there and practicing and screaming. And she's gotten to the point where she's put, given like Mitch from Suicide, run for his money in terms, like they've covered a few songs and stuff. And I'm fucking like, damn, So kudos to you for that, man. I think that's huge on you. And then you're only going to get better. You know what I mean? So that's amazing. And then talk to me. So James, how did you get better at playing? Like where did that start? Like were you one of those phenoms, 5 years old, just tearing it up? Or?
I've been playing, I think I picked a guitar up when I was like 7.
Okay.
I was kind of young though. I didn't really take it seriously till 17, 18 maybe. I had a couple of teachers, never really gave it the thought that I probably should have for my parents paying these people money,
Yeah, so fucking go, Mom. God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was like okay, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. But then I don't really, I don't know, man. I just started loving it more and more. Then I got more and more into music and metal and everything, and it was just like, wow, I just got to do something, And I was like buying more gear and guitars. And I was like, well, shit, I can't just have this. It's not. Right. That's not lucrative to have it, not do anything with it. So, just kind of went from there. The first band I was in, I was actually a vocalist too. And then, so I've been singing as well, but then now I just play guitar and Polyhedra and all that stuff. So, I love learning music. Anything, give me a xylophone. I'll be like, hey, how do I do this? A
That's
piano,
legit.
anything.
Can you read music?
A little bit. Yeah. I can read more, I guess just like piano notation a little bit.
That shit's hieroglyphs to me, bro. Hieroglyphs to me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's been something I've been trying to learn more recently as well, just to have that in my arsenal,
Yeah.
But, music, anything, instrument. If I see an instrument, I'll want to play it.
Right.
So
that's badass, man. So you jumped into metal probably early on, and that was kind of because that's a long stretch from like playing Happy Birthday on the guitar.
Yeah.
And shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I kind of learned playing metal.
Okay.
So I never really. I learned like La Bamba. Maybe like a James Bond theme song back in the day. But
Right.
I can't recall it now. One thing I actually learned. The only thing I ever learned from lessons that I still carry with me now is like my pentatonic scales or something like that.
Okay. I
don't even know what the name of them is, but like these 5 scales, that's all I remembered.
Right.
And like I have no application for them right now because we're little darker than that. But yeah, just started playing metal. I think the first song I learned was a Carnifex song.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I think it was yeah, kind of. I think there's like an old cover of me on YouTube, like from 2008 or something, playing Hell Chose Me or something.
Oh, okay.
Super old. And then yeah, just from there I was like, oh, let's get more technical. Let's do
do you guys ever listen to Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza?
I loved them.
Okay.
They were great. I loved Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, the guitarist there.
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
If I was to ever want to pick it up and try to figure it out, I mean, I'm fucking 30. But if I was to want to try to figure out how to, play guitar at that level, that's where I'd want to be, because that man, just to watch him play, like he could just he could play behind his head. It looks like the dude is just nuts, man.
Oh yeah. That he definitely rubbed off on me. I definitely kind of have an 8 string somewhat because of him, So his newer band, I love that Glass Cloud too.
Yeah,
so
dude, it's different. It's different.
Yeah. I think they're a lot more diverse. Although Dan's is great, not knocking them, but yeah, Glass Cloud is like a lot more my pace.
Right, and the Danza lead singer apparently became a cop, right? Isn't that
something like that? Yeah.
It's weird. Like he just disappeared, and the dude is so talented. That whole band is so talented.
Yeah,
who knows, right? Like how that falls out. But
it's hard to say. It's like, how do you end up even playing metal?
Right? Yeah, in the first place.
Yeah,
like you probably won't make money, but it's a lot of fun.
It's like how much? Oh, geez, exactly. Yeah. So I can understand that. Being a cop seems pretty lucrative.
Right. Oh, and I'm sure like kind of doing things for the community.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel better about yourself.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like, I can also, arrest you.
Right.
Can't just, scream and like, whatever.
I got some use.
So that's cool. So what do you guys foresee for in the future with you guys and playing music? What is something that you guys have, like a message that you guys want to put out there? I mean, I know that you guys, we kind of talked about lyrics, we kind of talked about like different modes, but is there something that means a lot to you guys? This podcast is not fucking political at all. We don't even have to go there, but do you guys feel like with the divide that we're having and nowadays, do you guys feel like there's something that you guys are trying to put out there, like for a message, like to get people to have like come together, you know what I mean, and do this through music? And that's a lot of musicians do that. Like they try to find a place that's neutral when you come to a show. You're listening to music. Do you guys foresee yourselves trying to spread any sort of message like that, like fuck Republicans, fuck Democrats, fuck the presidency, like all this, because this has been a huge thing since the election and even beforehand, but I feel like we're more divided now than we have been any time in the past. And I also go back to this, that I think social media has a lot to do with that, because I feel like, even 10 years ago, something could happen and you didn't know about it as quickly as you do now. Like you get a push notification that, like we just saw, somebody's got a active shooting going on in the town over from us. You know what I mean? But, But nowadays you got so much division when it comes to people. I mean, even within families, people are duking it out when it comes to he said, she said, what we believe, what we don't believe. Do you guys try to impart that into your music, or do you think you will in the future?
Personally, with lyrics, I try to avoid all that. When somebody throws on a pair of headphones, I literally want them to just sink into that music and just forget everything around them, just live in that moment. And same thing at our shows. I want them to forget about their problems or mosh their problems away. And if it means punching their best friend in the side of the head to do it,
proud of you for saying
I'm proud of you. Yeah, exactly. I'm proud of you. You keep hitting that motherfucker, I don't want this bipartisan message. I want to keep that all away, because we deal with that in our real life, and I find a lot of us have music as an escape, and I want that music to continue to be their escape. I'm not saying like you're gonna go ahead and create an infernal machine, Infernus Machina, and go destroy the world. I'm not saying that. I want you to just disappear into this moment, enjoy yourself, and then take that home with you. Say, I went out, I had a good time, I forgot about all my problems, I can go about my day now,
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what that really is, something that music has always stood for. You know what I mean? And even when you have like a bad day, like that's the thing that picks you up. You know what I mean? You could have all that argument and then come back around. Do you guys have any family that tries to portray metal as bad to you guys? Like, oh, you're still doing that devil shit or anything like that?
I mean, I have my mother who's like, "Why do you say fuck so much?" I'm angry, Ma.
Right?
Like, I don't know what to tell you. I was angry when I wrote this.
I can't afford a therapist, so here it is.
But she still loves it and supports it. She's like, cool. Can you drop one less F-bomb per song? I'm like, no.
Do you say fuck that much?
I really don't. I mean, I yell fuck at the end. When we play Infernus live, there's a snare hit that they hear right before the last breakdown, and usually live, I'll tell everybody on the count of 3, yell fuck with me, and just to hear everybody just yell fuck right before we get into it. It's just like, it's that moment of just like, finally.
Yeah.
Like,
that's very freeing though, bro.
Let it out.
That's the kind of stuff that I look for at a metal show, is to see like, I've gone to some of them and I'm surprised because they'll start talking about faith or politics on the stage, and you're like, dog, it's not what I came in. That's why I asked you guys, like, that's not something that you guys weave into like your scene, because the more successful you get, the bigger your platform is to be able to talk to people. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see that you guys take, if anything, a neutral stance on that. That's what I'm gathering. Right?
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, I never plan on going to politics. So, I mean, why am I going to talk about it on stage? Oh my God.
Some pig squealing at your rally, dog?
I could tell you all of my policies would be based off of creating a bigger music scene. And then people would hate me and impeach me eventually. But hey, we have more venues. That's what counts.
Right.
It's like, isn't there like a black metal president somewhere in Sweden or something?
Something like that.
Some dude, he's like totally black metal. He's like kicking the religion out of the state or whatever over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think when it comes to stuff like that, people that come from more, even Tim Keller, Albuquerque mayor, he's like kind of a metalhead.
Oh yeah.
I think it's kind of a ploy a little bit, because it's like, I can go to these shows and still talk about being the mayor and hey, these great things we're doing for Albuquerque. Nice guy seems like, but like, I know he's not going to shows. You know what I mean? All the time. There's no way. But I remember even though like at one point they were trying to shut, and I talked about this in that last podcast I had with Buck and Dex, because they were much more on the scene. I guess they broke Five Finger Death Punch and like Flyleaf. They were one of the first radio stations to play them consistently. This is what they tell me. And around that time, the mayor, I can't remember his name, but he was trying to get rid of the all ages shows. Yeah, it was Barry. Yeah. And he was trying to knock down the all ages shows. And I remember like thinking to myself, I was like, then not so much, but even now, more than anything, there is less arts in the schools than there is at any other point. And it's interesting to me how much, I can say that at that point where I was in a metal band, 18, the youngest kid in the band was 14, and that kept us out of trouble. You know what I mean? And if you knock the all ages shows, sometimes that's like the only like place you can go where there isn't drugs, there isn't alcohol as freely as going to your homie's house or somebody's house where they're, you got a bunch of fuckheads partying, and like, hey bro, come on, don't be a pussy, bro. Here's a beer, there at least it was controlled. And it's interesting to hear them talk about that, because the dichotomy of the truth compared to what he was trying to push on people at the time. And I'm glad that's not something Keller's trying to do. But the reason why I bring it up is, again, like in this day and age, there's a lot of misinformation, and with metal, it's always been kind of like a facade when it comes to the lyrics. A lot of times, like you said, you don't really want to make an infernal machine, but you want somebody to fucking feel like a god when they're in the mosh pit, throwing elbows. And mosh pits they're not an evil place for anybody listening that thinks so. You need to go and get in a mosh pit. You'll feel better.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But that's cool. So you guys don't have like a message in that sense, but you guys are staying true to yourselves. And I think, again, that's why I brought you guys on. I think that your pursuit of greatness is purely in the fact that you're very original and you're nice guys. You guys are very cool. And I hope to see, when do you guys think this new album will be around? A year, let's say?
Man,
we're looking at 2020.
The big goal is 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We want something out 2020.
Okay.
So, fingers crossed.
Yeah. No, that's legit. So what do you, and when you guys are looking into the future, is it anything like crazy? Like, do you guys have any goals of touring? Anything like that?
So that is something that is being worked on.
Okay.
Can't say much right now. We're going to kind of keep it in the bubble, is my goal. I handle a lot of the booking for us. Of course, I make sure it's okay with all the members first. Like, hey, so this is the plan. This is what I want to do. Is everybody cool with this? Yeah. Kind of thing. But, right now I'm looking at like Texas, Oklahoma, Denver, and Vegas.
Nice.
So those are my big things that I want to do right now. Branch this small area. So first things first, transportation.
Right.
Actually might be happening sooner than later. Okay. So that's something we're working on. But once that's secured, let's hit the road. Let's get out there.
Get a minivan, Doug. Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
4 cars, whatever it takes.
15 passenger van. It's the goal.
Yeah, that'd be choice. That's awesome, man. And then what's the furthest you guys have gone to play a show so far? Just Albuquerque? Or have you guys played Santa Fe, anything like that?
Gallup.
Yeah.
Gallup? Okay. Is there a good scene out there?
It was pretty good. It's pretty decent. Yeah. We went out there one time with a previous project that we were working with for Hellbound Fest 3.
Say it again?
Hellbound Fest 3.
Hellbound, okay.
So that's something we went, and then we went again with our buddies in Southbound.
Okay.
To go play a show with them out there because they have a good following out there as well. So, both times we went, we've had decent crowds. It's been a lot of fun. We always love going to play out there. So, definitely, a good time for us.
What's the craziest shit you guys have had happen at a show?
Let's see. I think actually it was my buddy Jesse Goldstein and our first Wall of Death that we did.
Okay. I'm so proud of you, man. Yes. I definitely got to come see you guys, man. You better do it while I'm there, too.
Absolutely. It was at the previous jam spot that was off of, what was it, San Pedro?
Yeah, San Pedro.
So we did our first Wall of Death there, and my buddy Jesse took off running, and right as everybody was about to collapse, he just did this spinning back fist and just went ape shit. People were like getting thrown onto the stage because there was no room. Everybody was just getting pushed off to the sides. It was so much fun.
That's epic.
So much fun. So,
do you guys have a YouTube?
Yes, that is something we're currently working on building. We have Infernus up there, but I'd like to get a full album stream. I think that's going to end up being the goal. And then there's a couple other things that we're working on getting up as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get better with the camera, man. So if I can, I might make it out to a show and see if I can't shoot a show. You know what I mean? And then get you guys some YouTube footage. Cause
you
know what I mean? Because I think that adds such a awesome aspect to metal, because a lot of times people will hear it and they just, I don't know, I guess they can think evil if they're not metalheads, you know what I mean? But then you go to a show and it's like surprising how many kids are just having a fucking blast. And like you said, the Wall of Death, and for any of you guys listening that don't know, essentially the crowd gets separated into 2 parts, and the singer or whoever is running the mic will be like, you don't fucking go till I tell you to. And then when they say go, the 2 parts rush at each other like fucking Braveheart. You get 2 like armies that just like smash into each other. And I mean, it's still same rules apply. You help each other up if somebody goes down, but you're gonna get, might catch an elbow or something, or a spinning back fist or whatever the fuck comes out of it, But there's been some awesome ones. I think Lamb of God got sued for one, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah. Man.
I think the video is still on YouTube. Actually, this guy was standing in the middle, and as it collapsed, and literally this dude just disappears. And when I saw it the first time, I'm like, "Oh shit, this guy's dead!
Right,
like he's dead. There's no way he lived." Because it's this massive crowd. It was like at an Ozfest or something. Yeah. And so it was probably that video.
Yeah. Well, I remember seeing them with Shadows Fall at the convention center, and this is years ago, and they had us all get down on a knee. And the convention centers, for in terms of a venue, like it's just one big flat, cement area, and it was huge. And I remember everybody got down, and we said, when I say get the fuck up, everybody get up. And he said, get the fuck up, and just people started mauling each other, man. And it was one of the gnarliest scenes, because I had never seen one done like that. Like he just had, and he was like building it up, and then when it took off, like even the people that did not want to be in a mosh pit were fucking in a mosh pit. You know what I mean? Because Wall of Death is one thing, because then everybody kind of knows, you can get out of the way for a second. But there was guys that were just too drunk to even know what was going on, and they're just standing there with the beer. They didn't even get down on a knee, and they get the fuck up, and everybody just, it looked like violence and death everywhere. It was amazing. That's the kind of shows that I like to go see. So if they wanted to check you guys out, do you guys have a website? Anything like that? Where can we find dates and stuff like that? Or is it just Facebook?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook right now. Website's something we're working towards. Okay. Trying to find the best way about it. So trying to find the best way to go about it, and get a design that we want and everything. We want to make sure that we do it official.
Yeah.
Just like music, we want everything that we do to be polished, professional, looking good and clean. So
sure.
That'll be coming soon.
Okay, so facebook.com/Polyhedra.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you can find us. Just look up Polyhedra. You'll definitely find us. So,
wait, I think it's Polyhedra Band Official.
Is it? Look.
Yeah.
I'll look you guys up.
I'm pretty sure it's Polyhedra Band Official.
Shit, fuck.
Sorry.
No.
God damn it.
Well, it's my fault for lying.
I know. You should know this.
He apologizes, guys. He didn't know. Polyhedra.
And I definitely apologize if you hear me vaping in the mic.
No, it ain't no thing, man. That mic has probably seen more than just vape.
So breaking news, I'm Darth Vader.
There you are. It is Polyhedra Band Official. Yeah, so facebook.com/Polyhedra Band Official. You can see these gnarly dudes. And then I think it's got a polyhedron as the symbol. Do I have it right? What is it? What is this on the front here that I see?
The banner?
Okay. So that's from our original shirt design.
Oh, yeah.
So we're currently updating that.
Okay.
But it'll actually have our album cover that we do have out as our profile picture. And then the banner will be the Venn diagram with the rotating orbs.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the one that you guys can find. So make sure you guys check them out online. And just, I mean, fucking, it's free on Spotify. You know, stream it if you want. If you guys want to support these guys, you can pick them up at, it's not GarageBand. Bandcamp.
Yeah,
fuck.
for free.
Bandcamp for free. But yeah, I mean, I just bought the album. It's $5. Don't be a bunch of pussies. Just buy it. I see you guys are friends with Mr. Paul Hunton from Dust City Opera from Silver String Band.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You guys know him?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
They just put out an album this weekend as well.
Oh really?
Yeah. So they were like my third podcast. I had those guys on, and
that's cool.
It's interesting to hear. Like to me, like I feel like he doesn't know it, but he could make an amazing metal musician because he's just such a hardcore dude. You know what I mean? But he plays like this beautiful.
Yeah.
Like they called it brewgrass, which is like bluegrass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you guys ever see yourselves playing with bands that are not so metal?
Hopefully.
We actually have before. We played with a band called The Frets and the Fretless, and they have this badass cello player. His name's Sam. Real cool.
Yeah, they're not together
R.I.P.
anymore. They did release something though.
Mm-hmm. They did release something. They were a super cool band,
Yeah.
good group of kids and everything. And they played some amazing music. So we've played a couple of shows that were, out of our genre, but we absolutely don't mind that. Music is music, man. You enjoy what you enjoy, and we love to see, these different groups of people all come together and support the cause that is music.
Yeah, especially with all the bad shit that you hear about New Mexico, it's cool to hear like people doing good shit, you know what I mean? And just like working towards that, like having a safe space, not to make that, not to sound cheesy, but like to have like something like that where you guys can go to shows and no matter what you're into, there might be something there. So I guess one of the questions I haven't asked is, what are you guys listening to individually? Like, what do you guys got on? If you were to pull it up outside of Polyhedra, like what are you currently jamming to?
Oh man. Right now, I'm on a big Periphery kick because they dropped 2 new singles.
Okay.
As well. Been more soft stuff. Good Tiger because of James. Tesseract also because of James. So, but then, of course, Whitechapel is dropping new singles as well. So I'm listening to the new Whitechapel. I'm listening to the new Lorna Shore. Hunt the Dinosaur just dropped a monster song.
I've never fucking heard of that.
They just dropped a monster song called Destructo.
Okay.
And it is insane and it's groovy and I love it.
In Flames just put out a new album. So and I didn't even know that. And it just like popped up. It's full 12 songs. And I was like, fucking, ooh, I haven't heard In Flames new stuff in a long time. What do you got, James? What are you listening to?
Man, I'm awaiting that new Periphery too. That's some good stuff. But I've been listening to a lot of rap.
Okay.
A lot of rap.
What do you listen to?
Earth Gang, Young Thug.
Okay.
A little bit of mumble rap.
Yeah,
I like that. Some good stuff to me.
I listen to a ton of rap. I listen to Future quite a bit.
Future's cool. I like he did an album with Young Thug, Super Slimy. That was a good album. Future's cool. Migos, a little bit of Migos. Lil Pump. No, I'm just kidding. No Lil Pump.
Tekashi. I hate that guy.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. Yeah, a lot of video game music.
Really?
Polyphonic stuff. Yeah, that's about it lately.
Fucking August Burns Red they put out a new album and they did the Zelda song, but the old school Nintendo song.
I saw that.
It was amazing, bro.
They did it pretty cool. Heck yeah.
We had a band on the podcast called The Game Book, and I honestly haven't kept up with them. They're from Florida. But they basically were like very concept, but these guys were they all came from, God, and I can't even remember anymore. It's been like almost 2 years since I had them on, but they came from one of these higher end schools. Then they eventually went to Full Sail, but they were like classically trained.
Yeah.
And so the music that they came up with was real beautiful, but they did a rendition of some of the newer Zelda. And it was just amazing to hear those kind of things. Do you guys ever see yourselves doing some shit like that? Like some one-off kind of...
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. I challenge Lindsay with this, and I'm going to challenge you the same because I have yet to see them do this. And granted, they're awful busy, but I think if you got some "Hello" by Adele, complete metal cover, complete vocals of the whole bit, bro, and just do it metal as fuck, I think you guys could kill it. You know what I mean? Talk about a challenge, and then it would have to, like, your vocals would have to be spot on because of how much, you know, that would be just open to hear just the vocals. You know what I mean? But I think it could be done. Speed it up. Fuck it. You know what?
Yeah.
But I challenge you guys. I want to see one of you guys come up with it, just because it seems like such a, you know, hello, you know, just, you know, just have it like meaty as fuck or something in that genre, you know, something way up, like even The Weeknd. I think The Weeknd, right?
Yeah, that's actually something I was just gonna bring up. That's something I wanted to bring to the guys. Is I would love to do a Weeknd cover. I love The Weeknd, man, and to see a metal cover, I don't even care if it's at the same damn tempo and we just made it groovy. I think that'd be so much fun just to do and like kind of branch out. And then I've always had a fantasy about doing Forgot About Dre.
Okay.
So that would be an awesome cover to do as well.
So the lead singer of Archspire. You guys listen to Archspire?
Yes, dude, I love Archspire.
Dude, so that dude, I guess one of his initial inspirations was
Tech Nine.
And Ice Cube, and like the way that he spits his vocals is like rapping almost. But you don't, like, I wouldn't have put that together until he talked about it. But just to watch how fast he can fucking, you know what I mean? But I'd love to see him do a couple of those type at that speed, you know, like that mathcore fucking ridiculous sound, you know, like that right there that's a place where I think we all would want to be as musicians, you know, to be able to just do things at that rate. You know what I mean? Do you guys have songs that you guys play to like practice, like anything that's like a challenge to you? Like, what do you guys, like somebody else's music that you try to warm up to or something like that?
You know, a lot of what I do is now, especially that we've had everything recorded, I've even been practicing to our own stuff because, of course, you know, running through our own music, I'm warming up those chords and that I'm using.
Sure.
So, you know, getting used to that. However, when I'm trying to push the limits and stuff, Signs of the Swarm.
Okay.
So they are just nasty and help me get my lows nice and meaty. So that's been a huge one. CJ McCreary is a fucking madman. Shadow of Intent as well.
Okay.
Ben Durr is an absolute monster and helps me really push myself whenever I'm trying to scream along to his music as well. So those are
it gets you kind of warmed up or whatever. Is that what you do before a show? Like, do you scream or are you doing like typical vocal?
Typical vocal warm. Just
anything?
Working through the vocal range type of thing, just to get them warmed up, and then of course staying hydrated. That's a huge thing.
Sure. There was a spray that I can't think of his fucking name. The Mudvayne lead singer, the guy, the Hell Yeah guy, did all that shit.
Yeah,
he came up with a spray that was supposed to be for screaming, and I was like, man, if anybody was gonna fucking buy some bullshit, it's amazing what people will buy, because, like, you know, there's nothing that's gonna help you except for, like you said, like, you know, vocal rest is one of them, and then like the spray, you know, to keep things going. But that's cool. So you just go through like old school kind of warm ups, and then you hit your actual sound before you get on the stage.
Another thing I like to do is even just going around and talking to people. Because, I mean, people don't realize that even just talking is warming up your vocal cords because you're putting them to use still. So, right. You know, that's a huge thing for me, is making sure that I'm warmed up enough that when I go on the stage, I can just hit what I need to hit and be on point.
Do you avoid drinking, smoking, anything like that?
Yeah, no, I do not drink before a set. Okay. Absolutely not.
Proud of you. So,
and then smoking, I mean, I vape. That's one of those things that it's like, probably shouldn't, but
oops.
Just, oh shit, I did it again. Oh no.
No, that's cool. Well, I mean, there's a lot of bands that, like, they pride themselves on being able to get fucked up and get on stage. You know what I mean? So that's cool that you guys, you know, well, at least you, do you drink before you get on?
No.
It's a safe place. You can tell the truth.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm the biggest pothead in the world.
Okay.
But even that, I try to very limit before before playing live, especially. You know, maybe if we're practicing, maybe, but typically no, because that's time to work.
Yeah.
Afterwards, whatever the heck.
Yeah.
But before, no, I try to keep it pretty straight.
That's cool. That's real cool. So that's kind of in a nutshell, like Polyhedra. I mean, I wish I had the rest of you guys on so I could, chat them up too.
Yeah.
Well, what we could do if you guys want is in the future, maybe we can get together at a show and just do like an impromptu, maybe not quite as laid out, but do like a USB mic or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know everybody. I know a lot of people have to work today and stuff like that. It's Sunday. Drummer, he's a bartender.
That's the day for a bartender, bro. Saturday, Sundays, Fridays, fuck.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then our bass player, he works at a call center, so his schedule is kind of shifty. And then same thing with our other guitar player. So it's kind of rough on the schedule wise, but if anything, why don't we see if we can do something in the future, have everybody up here, and then kind of all hang out, shoot the shit, talk some more music.
I'll have better fucking mic stands. God damn that mic stand, bro.
I tell you what, I'll even bring my SM7B.
Ooh, don't talk to me like that. Don't be talking dirty like that. Yeah, that's where I'm aiming to be. We were talking about mics beforehand. You guys are hearing some under $100 dynamics, but they do the job, man. You could throw this fucker against the wall and it'll still work. So,
Yep. I've put a few of these Cobalts through some abuse before.
Yeah. Well, the dude that had the mic I'm on, he was that Screamo band. And you can see it's all dented.
Yeah.
Probably lots of spit has been in there, but he used to have it taped like fuck, and then he'd take it and just wrap that motherfucker like all the way around his arm.
Yeah.
Like some of those cats do that, but this dude would get out of hand. Like he probably had 100-foot cable. And he would wrap it, and then he would take it and let the line out and spin that fucker. Even in practice, like, and then he'd hit the drum, the cymbals with it. I'm like, man, get out of here, But it still works. Y'all can hear me just fine. Well, fuck, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on. You guys have anything else you want to tell the listeners? Anything that we didn't cover that I might have missed? Anything? I know we covered kind of dates. We said April 15th.
April 15th for the O Sleeper show, yeah.
Okay. And then they can get tickets for that.
Yeah.
Anybody in the Albuquerque area or, even abroad, you can message the band. And we will be ordering physicals of the actual EP here soon. So if you do want a physical copy, shoot us a message. We'd love to even be able to send it out your way.
We're gonna set up a store for physical CDs and merch here soon too. So
legit. Okay. And then do you guys have any merch to go with that?
Working on it now.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are working on dropping a couple new designs and a couple new layouts for some shirts. We're even working on pants, booty shorts. Just for me though. I'm
proud
Only
of
for me. And a couple other things to get on out there. So
your own photo shoot.
Exactly. Dude, I'm trying to do a mock-up Suicide Girl photo shoot. I'm just stripping down through each photo, and at the end I'll just tuck and it'll be solid.
Watch it be the number 1 seller in your own store.
I'll sell prints. Catch me on what do they use? Patreon. Catch me on Patreon.
Yep, there you go.
Awesome. All right, fellas. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
And you guys listen, you guys better check them out anywhere that you guys can get music. Like they said, Google Music, iTunes, all the above. Support some local music. All right, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.